Hello, I just want to make a little video about things that have occurred to me about surviving 2012. Now, one thing is a video by Major Ed Dames, E-D-D-A-M-E-S, Ed Dames, who used to work for the United States Army doing remote viewing, which is basically psychism. And he has worked with people who all came up with the same answer, which is that a solar flare, probably, I mean 99% likely it's a solar flare, is going to be so big that it will reach all the way over to the Earth and burn up loads of the Earth, basically. All of the southern hemisphere anyway, and make all the oceans boil and so forth. The changes in temperature will cause tornadoes, which will be so big, and storms which will be so big that they'll suck down freezing air from the upper atmosphere and cause flash freezing across places as well. Flash freezing has been proven to occur by scientists who have found mammoths, whole big mammoths, giant elephant creatures, elephant-like creatures, which were frozen, these huge great creatures frozen in seconds, so that they were like caught with food still in their mouths. They were sort of halfway through a mouthful of grass and froze to death virtually before they probably even felt the cold. They would literally be thinking like, oh my God, it's, I'm just about to think cold, and they'd be gone. Right, so, Nibiru is a planet, that's the name the Sumerians gave it. It's now called the 10th planet, or Planet X, which comes close to the Earth every 3,600 years, and apparently it's going to do that this year, 2012. So I was just looking that up online today, having seen something about it on YouTube, and I googled Nibiru NASA 2012 and something called, I think it was LANAC 2. I think it was LANAC, LANAC 2. It's one of their one of their telescopes, light astronomical something or other. I think it's called LANAC 2. If you can't get it that way, just Google with LA2. That should be okay. And it came up with an awful lot of information, lots of pictures, and make sure we put 2012 in, or May 2012 even, stuff like that. And it came up with a lot of pictures of objects apparently on the NASA site, and links to the NASA site showing this object, which really does look like the winged planet Nibiru, or the horned planet, or whatever, a planet with two streams of plasma or atmosphere or whatever it is coming out on each side, and ahead of it there's a dot with a tail behind it, which really does look like a comet. And then there's another dot nearby, which is presumably one of the planets that Nibiru takes with it. Now it's coming from the direction of the sun, so it's right by the sun at the moment. But really, it's heading our way, and it's not that far off. It wasn't there before, and it is now. And it's getting bigger month by month. So it's coming our way. Apparently the chemtrails are used along with HAARP, HAARP, which is a weather-controlled system. The chemtrails are used to obscure the clouds, to obscure the sky, to stop us from seeing various evidences of Nibiru, light in the sky other than the sun, and especially at sunrise and sunset, a little dot of light near the sun that lots of people have been capturing on camera. And one way they could, apparently a lot of chemtrails contain barium, which is used to absorb radiation, and it's kept up there apparently by putting it in manufacturing it into artificial or natural, I'm not sure which, probably artificial, artificially altered or created life forms that by nature prefer to live in the atmosphere. And now and again, when they get quite a few, they rain down in goo. You can look up on YouTube films about chemtrail rain or chemtrail goo or something, because now and again, when it gets too heavy to stay up there, just like rain, it will fall down and people get a load of goo all over their trees, dripping down all over their trees and into their garden and that. It's probably got a lot of barium in it, which is poisonous, and that's probably why a lot of forests are dying, especially where a lot of chemtrailing takes place. We've had this planet coming towards us. Apparently, it has an awful lot of debris that it brings with it, or it picks up a lot as it goes through the asteroid belt and brings them with it, and then flings them all at us. So we've got the gravitational attraction causing Earth changes. Apparently, we're going to get an awful lot of asteroids flung at us, and weather effects, extreme heat, extreme cold. In the past, there have been legends of mountains crumbling to the sea. People have found docks, rings for boats to dock onto, to tie up to, actual docks up mountains, high up mountains, like about 15 or 20 or, I don't know, was it 65 miles up a huge mountain in Peru or something? There's a dock. So, and that dock, judging from the damp, from the age of the stone and the ring, was not very old, really. Apparently only, I don't know how old, but I mean, it looks quite recent, and apparently it's quite recent. So that probably happened the last time, just a few thousand years ago or something. So, you know, I mean, I know these things sound incredible, but, you know, nature's only got to get a bit of soil over the place and grow some trees again, and it all looks normal. I mean, think about all those pyramids in China. They've all grown over so much you can hardly see them, really. You have to go over in a plane, and then you can just about make out the outlines through all the tree cover that they've got over them now. So it's really difficult to know what you ought to do to escape this kind of thing, really. I mean, if you try and escape in a boat, you could be tsunamied on land, and then be tumbled up a mountain, you know, or if you go up a mountain, you could be crumbled to the sea and then drowned. You've no idea really what to do. And there were other things as well that occurred to me, and that is that apparently Nibiru is due to hit this time, not just pass us, but hit, which is why the Mayan calendar stops in 2012. I mean, you can continue it because you can process the same information and get the idea that it would continue on. But that doesn't mean it actually will continue, because what they're possibly looking for in books destroyed in their libraries was what would happen over time, how close this particular planet, this winged planet, which is apparently the source of the legend of the horned devil, Satan, and all that, and the messenger of the gods, Mercury, things like that, and judgment, and that kind of thing, you know, various terrible legends. The thing is that if it does hit, then it could completely devastate the planet. Even if it doesn't, just imagine anyone survived. They'd have to, they'd be flung all over the place. If they had food and drinks sorted out and they were hiding in a shelter somewhere deep underground, they could still get flung about, and all their stuff could get flung about and bash them to death. So what they'd need to do basically is to encase themselves in polystyrene and then be inside some kind of steel cage fixed to a very, very huge, heavy wall that wasn't likely to be easy to fling about. And then hopefully this cage would not come loose from the wall, and their internal organs could stand being knocked about by a planet, which is apparently 3 to 5 times bigger than the Earth. Or is it 5 to 8 times bigger than the Earth? It's several times bigger than the Earth anyway. And apparently there will be polar effects, which will affect the atmosphere. The atmosphere will be stripped away. I mean, what are you going to do? Is anybody going to survive? I really don't know. What would you do? You'd have to take canisters of all the gases you'd need, all the gases the human body needs. You'd have to have a farm underground, like those American bases, deep underground military bases, DUMBs, DUMBs. Have they got farms underground? They might have to have them. I mean, exactly what would you have to do? Apparently they've got tunnels miles long. Well, imagine if everything else gets smashed up and even their tunnels might manage to survive. They're going to be living in great big wiggly tunnel constructions in space surrounded by stars. And all their lives in the future will be lived in these wiggly tunnels that in this strange looking spacecraft of wiggly tunnelness. And who knows where they'll be blasted to. They might be pushed right out of the solar system. They might have to chance it going through the asteroid belt. They might be pushed out of the solar plane of the galaxy altogether and go out into deep space. I mean, who knows what the hell? I mean, the cosmic rays, eternal blackness. God knows what on earth is going to happen to anyone. Even those selfish types who've spent all our taxes making themselves these great big long tunnels under the ground. Really, I mean, what on earth could you do to survive? You'd have to have extreme heat coping mechanisms. Apparently, according to Ed Dames, temperatures could reach up to 300 degrees because the actual solar plasma from the sun is going to reach right down and touch the earth. That's probably thousands of degrees, isn't it, really? So it's like it says in the Bible, the oceans will boil, the seas will boil. I feel sorry for the animals. Can you imagine being a poor little animal with that happening? Anyway, I think it's like it says in the Bible. If it's that bad, maybe no one will survive.